Hey guys, it's Rob here, and welcome back to the Robo-Chan Show, where we take the gaming news format that channels like Spawnwood or Arlo do, add a dash of animation and some cool editing on top to bring you your gaming news, leaks, and rumors in a fresh new way. If you're new here and want to be kept up on everything gaming, make sure you subscribe to the channel and leave a like if you enjoy the video and dislike if not, and have that notification bell on so you know when I upload. In this video, we are going to talk about the developers' reactions to Tears of the Kingdom, as well as my thoughts on the whole discussion of Tears of the Kingdom looking like DLC, because I do have some thoughts on that discussion. If you guys enjoy this video, leave a like, it helps the video reach more viewers when you do, and if you want to follow me on Twitter, my Twitter handle is RoboRob93. Without further delay, let's get on to the topics. So I'm super excited for The Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom. I mean, for the new gameplay, I was already excited, but I think one thing that we were all wondering leading up to that new gameplay reveal is what's the new thing, right? What is going to be the new gameplay mechanic in Tears of the Kingdom? Nintendo made us wait quite some time before even giving us an inkling of an idea of what to expect from this new Zelda game, but now we do have some things. The building of our own contraptions from our own minds. We can make cars, we can make boats, we can make flying machines, and whatever our wacky minds will come up with. And not only that, but we can combine weapons from parts of the world and even parts from different enemies we defeat as well. We can combine weapons as well and parts of different monsters that we defeat and even parts from different things in the open areas as well. We can also go through walls, and I'm sure as we play this game and as we learn more about the game, whether that be through the Tears of the Kingdom Nintendo Direct or playing it ourselves on release, we're gonna know about more mechanics and more secrets and more things and so on. Now, aside from our thoughts on this, the developers have come out and said some interesting things, and not the Tears of the Kingdom developers, but developers from other games and other companies. And this kind of does give us a little bit of an insight on what developers think of Tears of the Kingdom and whether or not this can be called just DLC, as some have called it. Now, the first one we're going to be talking about is David Goldfarb, and this is what he said about The Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom. Now, for those who don't know who this is, he's the founder and studio creator director of The Outsider. This is a developer, or a studio I mean, that's responsible for Metal Hellsing, a game that I still do want to try out. This game is a first-person shooter, but it's also a rhythm game as well, two genres that I love, so I eventually do want to try this game out. But anyways, another dev, JP Kellum, retweeted this tweet, and it says this: encouraging all aspiring system designers to seek a new career path. Now, this dev works for Epic Games and used to work for Platinum Games. And the way I see this tweet is that it says not for people to quit it, but kind of look up to what Tears of the Kingdom is doing. It's doing something amazing. Take inspiration from it. Now, I'm not a designer by any means. I'm sure people watching this have a better understanding about this. And if you are, especially if you're a developer or an indie developer or going to school for things like this, let me know what you guys think about Tears of the Kingdom from a developer's viewpoint. Is Nintendo doing something amazing here or not? I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comment section below and give people who maybe aren't understanding this from a developer's viewpoint more understanding. And maybe I'll make a follow-up video on those comments as well to give out more information to people who just don't know enough about game development and the things surrounding it. Now, the last one I want to bring up is a developer from BioWare, and he replied saying this: I'm pretending I didn't see this. Ignorance is bliss. And then JP Kellum says, but what if you can combine ignorance and bliss? So even developers from studios like BioWare are saying this as well, which, speaking of BioWare, I hope we do see some BioWare games very, very soon, because I love those games. They're usually good. I'm still burnt on Anthem, but we'll see what happens. That game had so much promise. But anyways, it's clear from smaller devs to bigger devs that they're impressed from The Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom from the new mechanics that we saw from the recent gameplay. And I'm sure you can probably find more if you scour the internet for different replies when that gameplay dropped. But overall, it does seem like developers are seriously impressed with this game. And it really does bring up the question, if the developers are impressed, is this Tears of the Kingdom just DLC like some players are saying? So the side I'm on, and keep in mind that I don't have a lot of knowledge surrounding this topic and, just the developer side of things, I'm just a player. At the time of typing the script, I was in the middle. Now later on, that is gonna change. But with that being said, even during the gameplay showcase, I was leaning more towards a full-on sequel, and of course it's a sequel. Now, the more I do see from this game, the more it makes me lean towards a sequel for Breath of the Wild, or just on a first look basis. Now, one thing I do have to say when it does come to discussion if this could have been DLC for Breath of the Wild, I've seen plenty of games, God of War Ragnarok, Miles Morales, now of course Tears of the Kingdom, and more games always having this discussion around it. This could have just been DLC. That's always with all of these different kind of sequels, and honestly, it really does make you wonder, what is a sequel? What makes a sequel? And to some extent, what are people expecting from a sequel? Do they want something so vastly different from the first game that it's not even recognizable? Do they want graphic upgrades? Do they want new mechanics? Do they want different things in the game, a different story, different game models? Like, what do they want from a sequel where it doesn't become just DLC? In my opinion, I think a good example of a sequel is Assassin's Creed 2, right? I think we can all agree that that is a sequel to Assassin's Creed 1. In fact, when you think of really great sequels, people do think of Assassin's Creed 2. It has a new character, a new story, new mechanics, a new world. Now, if you compare that to Tears of the Kingdom, one could say that Tears of the Kingdom is kind of doing the same exact thing. And don't worry, I'll get to the graphics of it all as well. I'll be talking about that too. But Tears of the Kingdom has new character models, new enemies, new mechanics, a new open world with different things that weren't in the original game. So isn't this a sequel? It's not just DLC. And this is the part where when I was typing the script, I kind of changed my mind and leaned more towards a sequel for Breath of the Wild. It is a sequel. I mean, it's doing the exact same things as other sequels have done for ages. I really don't know what this whole conversation is about. Like, for people who think that this could have been DLC, give me more of an explanation on your side of the things. Like, why do you say it's just DLC? I mean, the gameplay from Breath of the Wild, from the stuff we saw so far, is so vastly different from Tears of the Kingdom. I mean, there's new models for Link, there's new weapons, there's obviously new enemies, there's new sky islands, there's gonna be new dungeons, or according to rumors, there's supposed to be traditional dungeons, so there's gonna be that. There's also gonna be a new story, new characters. I mean, what is a sequel to you guys? Now, one thing I do have to say when it does come to this conversation, I think they do have a point that it looks the same as Breath of the Wild. And again, this is from a player's viewpoint. I'm not a developer, so I can't look at certain things and say, oh, that is vastly different from Breath of the Wild, because I don't know what exactly to look for. And that's where the developers, if you're watching this, tell me what to look for, and maybe I can understand it even more. But personally, when I think of what is a sequel, I think of the stuff I described: new character models, new stories, new gameplay mechanics, new rewards, new weapons, and so on. And I'm sure if we do get that Nintendo Switch 2, I'm sure they'll probably have some kind of upgrade to make it run better and look better as well, with better resolution and frame rate and so on. I mean, I would hope so anyways. That's one thing that some people have pointed out as well, and something that I've noticed too is the frame rate during the gameplay. I think that's something that might be a problem in some of these areas. It's not all perfect. I think there are some things they could have done better, especially when it comes to the frame rate and resolution. I think that's something that needs to happen with the Nintendo Switch 2. These games need to run better and they need to look better. When I'm talking about resolution, I'm not talking about, overly realistic graphics and stuff and all that kind of thing. But yeah, I don't really know where this conversation sprung up. Like, I don't know why people are saying, oh, this could have just been DLC, as if they're a developer or as if sequels haven't always been like this. When you look at sequels, usually it's extremely similar to the first game. There are only certain cases where they completely change up the formula and completely change up the game. Typically, what you're going to have is the same gameplay as the first one, just built upon it, which is exactly what a sequel is. I mean, you don't go to a movie and expect a different character that's completely different than the first one, unless you're like a certain type of movie, I would say, because some movies do that. They have different casts for each movie, but essentially you're going with the same character, the same place, sometimes different places, yes, but you're still experiencing the same thing that you got from the first movie. So I always thought it was kind of weird when people say, oh, this just looks like DLC. It's like, well, what did you want in the sequel? Like, did you want something so far different that you're not even going to enjoy the game because it's a completely different game? Like, in an action adventure, are you expecting a racing game the next time? Like, what are you expecting? And I think this does also bring up another topic that I think a lot of people don't really talk about too much, and that's the thought of increasing graphics for sequels, and even to some extent to the next console, because I think we are starting to get to that point in gaming where the graphic jump isn't going to be as serious as, say, when we went from the Nintendo 64 to the GameCube, or the PS3 to the PS4. I think we're getting those diminishing returns. I don't know, I thought that was just an interesting topic to bring up, and something that maybe we could talk about later the more we get into this new generation. I think it's pretty interesting, especially the topic with, stylized versus realistic. I think a lot of people do like those realistic graphics, but me personally, as an artist who likes to draw and stuff, I tend to lean more towards, the anime style or the Toon Link style. I'm trying to think of the words of it. I can't even remember the words. cell shading. That's the word I'm looking for. But yeah, tell me your guys' thoughts in the comment section below. Do you think Tears of the Kingdom looks just like DLC or not? Tell me your thoughts in the comment section below, especially if you're a developer and you know just more about it. Give us some more information on it. Let us understand on what exactly is going on here. With that being said, guys, I will see you guys in the next video. Take care. And if not, on your way out, make sure you subscribe for more videos and also have that notification bell on. And if you want to support the channel in any other way, there is my Patreon and Twitter account in the pinned comment if you're interested in those. Oh, and also have this donut if you're still sticking around for me rambling. Thanks for watching, guys, and remember, stay safe, stay charged, and have a good one.